What's crack-a-lackin', everybody? It's too much fantasy football. It's too much Brian here. We're here to talk about waiver wise. Shut up, folks. We know what we're talking about. It's trade deadline. 1 hour left. Let's go. Here we go. What's happening, everybody? Here we go, walking the wire, week number 10. It's Brian. We're here to talk some waiver wire pickups today, but let's be honest, it's trade deadline day. We're talking about that the final hour before the trade deadline kicks off, and I'm here to talk about everything that's going on. Folks, it started off hot and heavy. The Eagles were looking like a Madden player, dishing out players all week, and the big one came. We're going to come back to it all day. Sauce Gardner heading to Indy, 2 first-round picks, A.D. Mitchell. It was fun having you, bud, but good luck there in New York. Sauce Gardner, welcome to town, man. Welcome in, folks. We'll be talking waiver wire pickups all day. Throw them in the chat, whatever we want to look between. Whether it be your trades, the NFL trade deadlines, I'm here to talk it all. I'm here to react with you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Deep breath, deep breath. Breece Hall, it's last checker to fall. We need that one to move. Come on, man. He's sitting there tweeting. He wants to go. Jermaine Johnson wants to go too. Folks, it's been great. This is a trade deadline to be excited about. We haven't had one in a while, but I'm here to talk about it all. I'm here, glad to be here, folks. I've been glued to Twitter for the last 3 hours. It's been skipping around the house, super pumped, so excited. Hey, can't thank y'all enough for hanging out. Funky Town popping up. Hey, how's it going? Just made a trade. Attaboy, love to see it. I gave Ginty and Algier for Kyron Williams. I have Corum and the other guy has Bijan. How'd I do? Not bad, not bad. I like shipping out Algier, sending him over there. You got the backup straightened out. Ginty for Kyron. I do like Kyron rest of the season, but it's been scary. It's scary how much that we've just been seeing go away from him. Just with Blake Corum stepping in, the goal line work he's taking there. But you got both pieces. You got a great offense, so I definitely can't complain too much there. Whew, folks, I'm out of breath. I've been skipping around the house. Colts fan here. I've been skipping all the way. I hit my head in the entryway, just jumping a little too high in that door frame, but it's okay. It's all right. A little concussed. It's fine. Questionable for this week, but I should be out there ready to roll. Whew. Quinnen Williams, next trade that we've seen, the most recent trade we've seen there. Second round pick going to the Jets, as well as a future 27 first. And their D-line, Messi Smith going that way. What else? Rashid Shaheed. So much for talking about Torrey Horton this week, folks. I thought it was going to be fun. I thought he was going to be a huge waiver grab, but at this point, Rashid Shaheed seems like the number 2 in that offense. And this team, they run a lot of 12 personnel. So if you're thinking 3 wide receivers getting out there, unless they change up something schematically, I don't know if the rookie's going to have a whole lot of fantasy viable weeks going forward. But that's okay. That's okay. Rashid Shaheed has hit his over every single week this season. Nobody else has done it, so we're excited to see that happen. Hopefully, him and the best deep ball thrower in the league right now is going to make quite a connection. And can you imagine JSN not getting double teamed anymore? Woohoo! That's some sweet stuff right there. Oh, buddy. What else do we have? Jacoby Myers heading to the Jags. BTJ's got a low ankle sprain. Questionable for this week. Might be coming. Still waiting on Travis Hunter news. If y'all see anything pop up, please throw it here in the chat. Let me know. But we're still waiting to hear on Travis Hunter to see how serious that injury is. But as of right now, IR. So at least 3 more games he'll be out. Outside of that, it's been a lot of defensive picks. Michael Carter traded several days ago. Jair Alexander just traded. Jalen Phillips traded. These were all the Eagles acquisitions over the last few days. Gross if you're not a Philly fan. It's not the best. Logan Wilson, he's leaving. How does this work? How does it? One of the worst defenses in the league. Hey, we're gonna go pick a player from the worst defense in the league. Yeah, Cowboys pick up Logan Wilson from the Bengals, add to their depth there at the linebacker position, as well as the Quinnen Williams acquisition. Jets, folks, about to buy Madden. I know it's about to go cheap here on Black Friday, so I will be getting my first copy of Madden for this year. And I'm telling you, that Jets team is going to be so much fun to have just playing there, rebuilding if you're into those franchises. 2 first-round picks this year, 2 second-round picks, as well as the 3 first-round picks in the future. There's already talk. Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State could be going there in 2027 with their 3 picks. We made it, folks. We made it. One more hour. We're still waiting to hear if we got any buzz on Breece Hall. As soon as that trade goes through, folks, hit me up. Let me know in the chat that we've got that rocking and rolling because we are 2x. Shut up. Shut up. There it is. There it is. We got it. Breece Hall traded. Looks like he's going to the Bears. Is that accurate? I got news coming in. Come on. Give me an update, somebody. No way. Yeah, folks. Oh, man. Probably should have brought on a co-host for this one. Just somebody sitting here going through the news. But if we get it done... Oh, come on. Maybe not quite. Maybe this was wishful thinking on the update. Will it happen? Okay, never mind. Breece Hall isn't traded. Pumping the brakes there. I got a wishful Bears fan texting me. I only read half the message, so still waiting on that one. The Colts looking to make a quite the splash. Doesn't Breece to the Bears seem like a waste? 100%. Now, would I love to have him there over DeAndre Swift and figuring out the Montgomery situation? Absolutely. Again, not real news there, folks. Not trying to jump that too much. Again, think Denver does anything. You hope so. You hope so. I mean, the way Troy Franklin's coming up, he's been pushing Cortland Sutton for targets over the last 4 weeks. Is there a way to add to that offense? I really don't know, just because they spent so much on the offense already. Trade Olave and JCM for Pittman. Ooh. So this one's kind of an interesting situation here. This past week, we saw Shuck's first start, and I mean, Shaheed ran away with the targets there. Olave really didn't get a whole lot going. But does that change? Does that change going forward with him being really the only one there? It's him and Devon Vele at this point. I would, though. The thing with the Colts, I mean, going forward, I thought it was going to be a great situation, just how the teams going forward, they got a lot of hard matchups. They won't be able to run the ball quite the way they have. Maybe something a little closer to the Steelers game. But bring it on Sauce Gardner. Maybe that kind of pumps the brakes on the opposing offense, really putting up the points. But I like Pittman the rest of the season. He's got a great schedule. I definitely take the security for him over Olave. And then JCM, I want out. I want out of the Washington business at this point. There's really not a player that I feel like I have to have or I really want rest of the season there. Kupp a drop now after Shaheed trade. I think Kupp was a drop for me several weeks ago. He's out there a lot. 12 personnel. They love him in the run blocking situation, but he hasn't done anything. So yeah, absolutely. Kupp, you got to cut him. Drop him out there. Hopefully somebody picks him up as a landmine there. But Shaheed, I'd definitely be aggressively pursuing him. It's been wild how good we've seen Sam Darnold be in this offense. I was questionable. Definitely questioning whether or not we could get consistent performance out of him. Now, we're not in the playoffs. That's where he crumbles. But as of now, it's looking good. Not a lot of big offensive moves, Myers. So, yeah, you say that, Corey. Colts fan here. We're loving some freaking Sauce Gardner moves. I'm here for it. I'm hyped for it. Chris Ballard, not great with his first-round picks. Not great, so I'm okay. I'm okay with letting him go. We should have a late pick, and I'm tired of picking 15+, so I'm cool with it. But, yeah, really it's just Jakobi Meyers and Shaheed are being the big ones. Big question now. Two of the big acquisitions this week for waiver wires was going to be Torrey Horton and Parker Washington. At this point now, where does he fall? Is it Jacoby that you want? Is it Parker Washington that you want? I imagine it is going to be Shaheed that you're going to want over Horton. But Myers, how banged up was it? Was it all Geno? What was the problems that we were having rolling through there? Because that was not a great showing over the last 9 weeks. He was definitely a player I thought was a steal late in drafts. Could have been with better quarterback play. Also, Brock Bowers being out hurts that offense as well as trying to get that moving. Ooh, is my tea spiked? I don't know, folks. You'll have to come find out. Ryan, what do we have here? Waddle or Wilson slotted into Denver's offense would help the drop situation, also create an elite offensive structure. Ooh. Would they sell Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson after they extended them both this offseason? It would be absolutely wild to see Garrett Wilson. It would be hard to see them get rid of two cornerstone pieces, especially two young ones. But yeah, I think if Denver just paid Sutton too. Third round pick on, what's his name, Pat Bryant? Yeah. and then the 4th-round pick the year prior on Troy Franklin. But if they need an influx of talent there, so I don't hate it. Waddle, I don't want to see Waddle go there. I love how he's just being. It's him and Achane in that offense. They're absolutely getting not destroyed, just lit up with targets right now. So I hope Waddle doesn't leave. Maybe though. Gino Lawrence isn't much of an upgrade. Come on, Corey. No love on T-Law? No, I'm right there with you, man. I don't think it's great. I think, if anything, it's just a better offensive system. Chip Kelly is what he is. I like Liam Cohen. I think he has a possibility to... I mean, does Jacoby Myers slot right into the role that we were seeing Travis Hunter play, which was the Chris Godwin role of last year? It's a slot. Like, come on. He doesn't have to throw that far. T-Law, you can get it together, man. Hopefully. Maybe. But yeah, that is. I think it's an improvement there from Gino to Trevor Lawrence, but it's nothing huge. He's going from like QB 24 to QB 21. But I mean, Corey, tell me, who are you going for? Is it going to be Parker Washington this week or Jacoby Myers? Who's T-Law insert overrated chant? I don't hear it. It sounds silent. I don't hear the chant. Maybe it's not overrated. No, I've wanted to will it into existence. As a Colts fan, I'm not supposed to root for the Jags, but I like rooting for crappy franchises. I like rooting for the teams that don't do well. The Lions up until recently, the Bengals up until recently. Bengals need some help right now. Atlanta was always a team I loved to root for up until that Super Bowl crumble, and then it's hard to watch at that point. But yeah, T-Law, he's definitely overrated. I think everybody's coming down to earth. There's believers that he'll finally break out and do something fun. I think that window's gone for him. So don't disagree with you, Corey. This time. Coming in Washington over Myers for me this week. Parker Washington's hard to fade. He's looked great in the last 2 games, including 2 games ago before the bye week when he had Hunter out there killing it, and then BTJ, who was just like banged up consistently. I really don't know. I don't know if he's just trying to hide behind the injuries, if he's got the yips. What's happening there? Maybe he got his head smacked a little bit and he's still trying to adjust. I don't know. But yeah, Parker Washington still seems... I don't know if I'm dropping everything on him. I don't know if this is quite a 40+% fab drop, but if you need a player this week, I think he's going to be a great one to fill in. All right, let's check the feed here, see if we got anything new as far as the Breece Hall trade. Is it there? Nope, it's not there. Folks, we had a lot of excitement over the last 3 hours. They better not do this to us. We got 45 more minutes. Come on. We can have some offensive splashes here. We can see some big name wide receivers go. Clearly the Jets aren't afraid to make something happen there as far as taking away big pieces, because Sauce Gardner going to the Colts. Yeah, buddy. Other injuries will kind of go up through. So Puka Nacua is still waiting back, but it looks like it was just a rib injury. Shouldn't be anything too bad. Travis Hunter, we touched on that non-contact knee injury. Evidently, everything's okay. There's no tear, so he could be back this season, but you traded everything for him. There's no reason to rush him back. Tucker Kraft, out with an ACL, out for the season. Luke Musgrave is going to be probably one of the top end tight ends to go after in waiver wires. There are rumors that they're talking to the Raiders about making a trade. I imagine that would mean Michael Mayer, because there's no way they'll let go of Brock Bowers. But if Michael Mayer plugs into the Green Bay offense, you can look at him pretty similar to Tucker Kraft. Give me 85% of Tucker Kraft if Michael Mayer goes there. Would absolutely love that. BTJ with the ankle. CJ Stroud, concussion. Out. Most likely. We don't have anything official, but you would think they'd wait the week. Let him sit it out. Then again, they're up against the wall. Not looking great right now at 3-5. Really struggling to hold on to a bubble spot there in the playoffs. We got Pirine, high ankle sprain. Kind of interesting. If you didn't see the reaction from Chase Brown after the game, Jamar Chase kind of had a reaction. Chase Brown really had a reaction. He snapped off a little bit, sounded off on the defense. And then you got the coach coming in here saying that, hey, what else could you have done? There were 2 plays on offense. Shut up! Dak Taylor, Where's my bleep button? But, why? Why are you talking, man? There's no reason you can say anything to the offense. Maybe say he shouldn't be that. Be a little bit more professional as far as what you're doing there. Sure, that's fine. But to try and spin this on the offense, to try and say that they had anything to do with the loss, get out of here. Absolutely get out of here. You're led up over 1,000 yards to the opposing offense over the last 2 weeks. It's absolutely atrocious. And the fact that they're making no coaching changes. Yeah, you should. Get out of there, Zach Taylor. The fact that they held on to Marvin Lewis for 20 plus years makes me think Zach Taylor's he's got tenure. Whatever tenure is in the NFL, he's got it. It's absolutely ridiculous. What do we got? New York coming in here. Traded away Derrick Henry and Wan'Dale for Bijan full PPR. Yeah, that's going to get one right there. That's one hell of a trade. Derrick Henry, I still like rest of season. I think the Ravens are coming along. The defense should get better. They won't be in quite as many shootouts, hopefully. The schedule gets better for them. But any trade 2-for-1, Wan'Dale's kind of a fringe player anyway. You're probably flexing him in 12-team leagues, but very fringe. Throw on Bijan there as the comeback player. Crushed it, man. Absolutely crushed it. In full PPR, too. Bijan's been the boy out there. So I love this trade. Nice job. I see a win right here. He's in need for a wide receiver, and I gave him a PPR scam artist. Love that. Yeah, the guy whose average depth of target is like 2 yards. It looks so much better than it actually is for Wan'Dale Robinson. So, yeah. I think you pulled one off there. Worst case scenario, Derrick Henry gives you partial Bijan, but yeah, the Wan'Dale Robinson, the fact that you can make that into hey, you need this, great trade. Absolutely love it here. Look at that, folks. Derrick Henry for Bijan in a waiver wire pickup. Gotta love that. It's like picking up Tyrone Tracy last week and flipping him before the game. Pro moves, folks. Pro moves. That's what we're making here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. Again, we're rocking too much fantasy football here. Usually it's all waiver wire stuff we're talking. Today we're waiting for trades. We're waiting for some action. I can't thank y'all enough for coming to hang out here. Again, any reaction, any questions, any trades, toss them in here. I'm down to talk whatever, react with you. A little cry if you need to. I had a lot of losses this past week. It was an upside down game for this week 9 anyway. Yeah, Torrey Horton stocks. They're plummeting. I think he's a great player. I think he is a talented player. Hopefully, maybe we don't really want him to do much this year. Maybe we want to keep him at the point where next year his price will be low. But either way, I'm glad this happened before waivers ran, because the amount of people that would have rushed for Horton before that trade would have been absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, he's probably one to toss back into the waiver wire pool. His the 12 personnel I've kind of talked about there for Seattle. They run a lot of it. So it's 2 wide receivers, and I don't see him being the one, especially after that trade. I was able to stash Horton and Tank Bigsby. At least you got Bigsby. I imagine we should be seeing information here up to date on Barkley. I imagine he plays this week, but even if not, we now know that Tank Bigsby is secured. He's locked in as the fill-in. It's not Will Shipley. He's not going to be coming in and taking that. Tank Bigsby, he can go give us a 100-yard performance in one half. I like that. I love that as a handcuff there for your league. So nice snag on that one. Torrey Horton, though, gonna have to take him behind the barn. Gonna have to do the deed. Gotta old yeller him. Madden Crush, let it be real, folks. Topic of conversation all off season. The chatter from one end: who could be so stupid to not draft Saquon Barkley? Who would not want to take the guy that was so great this year, that's coming back to the same team? I get it, but we consistently see workloads like these guys. It plays into the next year. Also, Saquon, he had an absurd amount of big break-off runs last year. They're just not there this year. I think it's due to the offensive play calling. We see the Eagles consistently do this. Or, over the last several years. They go to the Super Bowl, they lose the OC. It's a struggle the next year. We talk about, hey, take Sirianni, take him down. The next year they bring in somebody good and they roll it back again. So they're definitely feeling the Kellen Moore being gone, but it's whatever. Team's too talented. I believe they should start snowballing with some of the points that they were dropping there. All right, folks, feed me the information. Where is it? Who has signed? Is Breece Hall somewhere? Where do we want to see him? Like, is it the Chiefs? Because, honestly, I don't want to see him go to the Chargers. What happens when Omari and Hampton comes back? Honestly, the offensive line is rough now. They've lost 3 tackles. I believe they're one of their guards is injured too. So it's rough if we were to see Breece Hall go there. Probably a slim chance at this point, but is it the Chiefs? I think it's the Chiefs that is probably the most enticing place for him to go anyway. Does it actually happen? I don't know. We have 40 minutes for that trigger to get pulled. What else do we have? Yeah, Seahawks fan definitely hyped. Hey, you hit on Sam Darnold. Even if he turns into a pumpkin in the playoffs like he did last year, the contract's very friendly for the team, whether they bring him on or keep him on for next year and the year after, or maybe he does well. Maybe he performs a lot better. He's still in a rough division, but not quite the NFC North. So, yeah, Seahawks fans, how? How do y'all get rid of quarterbacks before they expire? I mean, Russell Wilson, everybody thought it was wild when that trade happened. They brought in so much as far as picks, and look at him now. Geno Smith revitalized the career there, the most accurate quarterback over the prior 2 seasons. Shipped him off, brought in picks, picked up Sam Darnold, paid him a team-friendly deal, especially compared to what Geno got. And, man, Dan Snyder. No, not Dan Snyder. What's his name? Schneider? Something like that. I can't remember his name right now. I've got so many players going through my head. But, yeah, Seahawks, got to be loving what you're seeing out of your GM right now. It's looking great. Folks, anything else big? I guess let's go back here into the injuries until we get the inevitable Jalen Waddle trade. No, never mind. We want to keep that. Garrett Wilson looks like he's going to be ready this week to play. And even better, that defense just got so much worse. We're going to have another defense to heavily target as far as our start sits. It should be great. Hopefully that offense can generate enough passing work to make it viable on the other side. So when these shootouts inevitably happen. And they got A.D. Mitchell. Look, he's made some boneheaded mistakes for the Colts. But he was, at this point, he was never going to pass Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce is going up on a contract year. So if he gets extended, just the chance of A.D. Mitchell actually blossoming and turning into something, slim to none, as well as them having Josh Downs there. Michael Pittman he's a guy. The Colts are they got their guy, they keep their guy, they pay their guy, kind of a team. So it's good for A.D. Mitchell. I think he has a chance to grow his role. Maybe not this year. It's Justin Fields. Like, are we really going to trust the number 2 for that team? Probably not. We've been hyping up Mason Taylor all season long, and it's not really coming to fruition. So I think better days are there for A.D. Mitchell. They also traded for John Mechie from the Eagles. Yeah, I believe he went to the Eagles before he traded there. So offense looks a little different, but again, even better, the defense looks worse. It's great for our fantasy teams, folks. It's great. Kayshon Boutte pulled a hamstring injury this past week. Dude's got his own Discord server. So in his Discord, he was talking about how got the MRI, shouldn't be too terrible. There's a chance he actually plays this week. So does that happen? I don't know. Fingers crossed, though, because Boutte, he was crushing it those 3 weeks. Wide receiver 6 before last week, the prior 3. Joe Alt, we talked about the Chargers' problems they have there with the offensive line. Sorry, my hair's all over the freaking place. I've been jumping around a little too excited today. But yeah, Joe Alt, season-ending surgery. So there are 2 all-pro center or tackles gone. And then Hampton, we got a report saying we probably won't see him until after their Week 12 bye. All right, better. Aniori coming back in here. What do you have for us? Praying for Montre turf toe. I have Travion. Did you play him last week? I don't have a lot of Travion. Luckily, he was being sniped up in a lot of my leagues, so I missed out on that opportunity. Not hating it now, but I was hard to confidently rank him as a top 24 back this past week. He looks good. I agree with you there. I do think he looks good, but it's the coach, man. Vrabel has his ways. He does his thing. He had Derrick Henry as a running back 2 for the first 3 years of his career. We just sit there and watch DeMarco Murray and Dion Lewis. Dion freaking Lewis was stealing the majority of touches from Derrick Henry. So it's just my biggest fear. I think the talent's there. I think the opportunity, it looks like it's opening up. But, I mean, Terrell Jennings going there, stealing the touchdown. Eye roll. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But, yeah, do we have a report on Ramondre yet? I haven't seen anything. I usually have rankings post on Fantasy Pros late this evening for me, so I haven't fully dug into that. Let's see what they're saying, though, because, hey, Ramondre, if it's just a little banged up, buddy, go sit it out. It's fine. You can't fumble the ball when you're not playing, man. Patriots, they play the Bucks this week. Let's see what we've got. Ramondre Stevenson, fingers crossed. Ruled out Sunday. Yeah, I've got no updates on him. right now. So if y'all see anything, throw it in the chat. Let me know. Let's see what we've got. Joe, the homer swung. Dude, that stinks. Absolutely stinks. Took Henderson over. I took JSN everywhere because he kept falling. I wasn't a huge target. Like I had him ranked there right around the wide receiver 12 for me this year, but for whatever reason, I picked up so much of him because he just kept dropping in drafts. A lot of my decisions came down like him or Garrett Wilson. I'm like, well, I trust Sam Darnold over Justin Fields. But yeah, you move on, though. You move on. It's where you make trades, waiver wire acquisitions, whatever you can. You just try and put that together and you make stuff happen. Nino, what's happening, buddy? How we doing? Wide receiver core is still gross, as you know. Yikes. Yeah, this was going to be a work in progress, but we'll get you there. We'll get there. You got Diggs, Jacoby, Ellick, and Burden. I mean, if DJ Moore, that injury could be something more. You know, Burden might plug in there. Jacoby now has a potential to be a 1B in the offense with Parker Washington if we see BTJ sideline. So, should I drop Ellick or Burden for any of these names? I drop Ellick at this point. With the Chimere DK, I think might. Oh, man. Ridley hasn't been traded. Come on. Why isn't he moving on? But yeah, I really don't trust much outside of DK, and I don't even know if I trust him. I'd be willing to put him in there. Judy, Slayton, Keon, Tez, or Watson. I like Watson. I like Watson a lot. I like him a little more than most people, but with the Tucker Kraft injury, there might be a chance where he can jump in. Unfortunately, he really didn't hammer the target share this past week, which is kind of the main problem we see in Green Bay. It's not consistent with the target share, but after Tucker Kraft went down, Romeo Doubs 21% target share, Luke Musgrave 15.8, Christian Watson 15.8, Xavier Williams 10, and Josh Jacobs 10. So I definitely want to go after Watson. I think that he is playing for the best team out of all those. Tez Johnson will probably be a close second. So we'll probably go Watson, Tez. And if it's a double flex, no, never mind. We're not saying Keon Coleman. Yeah, Keon Coleman, Jerry Jeudy, I don't really want any part of that. If for some reason they start blowing up in the second half of the season, I'll miss out on that. If anything, check out Tillman. Tillman's coming back from IR this week. He would probably be the wide receiver I'd be looking for out of the Browns. Downs, Pierce, all could be guys. Like Pierce has 13 targets this past week, and Downs 3 touchdowns over the last 3 games. Franklin's also an option. I talked about him on the other podcast to do with QB List, how he has out targeted Sutton over the last 4 games. His target share over the last 3 weeks, let me pull it up for you real quick. 20%, 27%, and 27% over the last 3 weeks. It's pretty good. It's Bo Nix target, so maybe it's more like an 18, 25, 25, but that's pretty gnarly there still. But yeah, from what you have showing, I go Watson and then Tez be the guys I'd be dropping Ellick for. Burden, I'd hold on to Burden maybe just a couple more hours, maybe another day or two, just until we get more news. If DJ Moore is going to miss any time, then that does open up the excitement for Burden just a little bit more. Let me see if we can find anything right now on the fly. DJ Moore, there you are. What do we have? Nope, nothing. So yeah, Burden might be somebody you drop after waivers run, after you have a little bit more news, but buddy, that is a rough wide receiver room. That looks like a room that got hemorrhaged with some injuries. Travion looked good, too good, out of the draft. Thought he was a Jahmyr Gibbs 2.0. Hey, when you get highlight tapes like he did out of the preseason and practice, those deep passes, those huge plays in space, that's what we're looking for from Travion. And it's just not having that opportunity. Also, when your quarterback is blossoming in a second year, having a near MVP run, it's kind of hard. He's doing what good quarterbacks do, unfortunately. He's spreading the ball around. You know, if he was hyper-targeting just Stephon Diggs and maybe dishing it off to the running backs that they're second or third in the target share, but it's not. And I think the talent's there. I still think the talent's there. I think Travion Henderson does have a chance to be a great running back in the league, but, you know, who knows? Even with me needing wide receiver help, should I still prioritize getting Loveland or get my wide receivers? I'd get your wide receivers, 100%. Loveland was a stream for me this past week. But he's still that was more the matchup. That was more the matchup is why I do a tight end streaming article on QB List. If you guys want to go check that out. But he was one of my starts, him and AJ Barner were two of my streams this week. And it was a lot of the matchup. It was a lot of the matchups. It was the over-under. I didn't see the game going that high. I didn't even see that second touchdown coming. He had the first one. I was happy. I was like, look, win. Streaming tight end, you get a touchdown. That's all you look for. But yeah, Loveland's not really a priority for me. I drop a buck or two as far as fab, but there's so many tight ends I like this week. Here, let me pull up another list. So we got Musgrave, who I'd rather have Musgrave, I think, over Loveland. Theo Johnson for the Giants, I think, is a possibility. Harold Fannin coming off the bye week. Come on, Njoku. Why are the Packers not trading for Njoku? Come on, man. Y'all need a tight end. Browns need to get him out of town. They've got their future. Taysom Hill led the team in rushing yards last week, so if you were really down and out, possibility. Isaiah Likely's out there. Darren Waller could be coming back from IR in the coming week. Greg Dulcich, who plugged in for him for the Dolphins, not quite fantasy viable yet, but something I'm keeping an eye on depending on how long that Darren Waller injury could go. And then, the Seahawks right now, they just got another wide receiver, but the rookie Arroyo, he's starting to come out more. I just talked about how they run a lot of 12 personnel. It's two tight ends. AJ Barner's been getting quite a few touchdowns this season, but Arroyo's been getting more and more involved, and he is heavily athletic. Like this guy, if he didn't have the injury coming out of the Senior Bowl, probably would have went a bit higher, but he still had great draft capital. And then finally Ferguson, the rookie tight end for the Rams. I don't know. He's probably bottom of this list. Him and Dulcich are. They've been using three tight ends there with the Rams, and like the market or the target market that is going to those players, it's all Devontae and Puka. So I don't know if he actually has a chance to break out with an injury, but yeah, I prioritize the wide receivers 100%. We can patch your tight ends every single week. I guarantee you it will find you 5 to 10 points at least on a streamer. Who knows? We might even be able to get you something long term. Theo Johnson, at this point, the Giants have nobody. They have nobody. So he might become a more and more regular starter. Also, their other tight end, Daniel Bellinger, I believe he left the game this past week. Let me see what we have on him. He was inactive for week 9, neck injury. We don't know how serious it is, but that just sounds. Anytime you're talking back or neck, there's that chance that we don't get to see them come back or do a whole lot. So. Yeah, hold tight with those wide receivers. See, just shotgun approach, man. You just got to shoot as much as you can, throw something at the wall and see what sticks. Like I said, I think my two favorite ones would be Christian Watson and Tez Johnson, though. Whew. What else we got? Corey, snag Loveland and trade him to the Kraft owner for a wide receiver. I think you can do that, too. Is there a market for Loveland? I just can't see. There might be leagues. I don't worry it's a flash in the pan. Again, they've got 3 good wide receivers. They've got 2 running backs. They have multiple tight ends. Like Cole Kmet is there. He's always good for about 4 touchdowns a game. So I like the talent of Loveland, but it's just how many opportunities does he have? They did all this. The Bears did with Rome Odunze putting up 0. Literally didn't have a catch. I don't see that going forward. He still leads the team as far as targets go. So I think that'll come. Desperation overreactions to good performances. I don't doubt that. I pulled off a Gadsden for Kittle trade 2 weeks ago after Gadsden's his third game. Not that I don't think that Gadsden's a good player. And I like him rest of season. I got him top 7-ish as far as my tight ends rest of season, but absolutely desperation overreaction. I guess just with my experience, a lot of my leagues don't like trading with me. They think for some reason I know something they don't. No, I'm just a little bit more bolder in my takes, and I'm willing to take the shot. But yeah, if you can get these overreactions, these desperation moves, I'm all for sending it. But I still think I would prioritize the wide receiver as far as the fab spending, and you can still take a shot at Loveland. But I want to. Your wide receivers are rough, absolutely. Look at that, like that, Corey. You like that over there? No, nobody likes that. We got to fix that. Like I said, tight end. I guess. Corey, what are you trading Loveland for? What wide receiver are you hoping to get back? Would be my thing. Just let me see if I can pull up my rest of season ranks. We can check something out. Hang on, let's check Twitter. What do we got? Any moves? All right, I'm going to close my Twitter tab, folks. I'm watching you. I expect up to date. Any new trade news, you better let me know so we can react and freak out accordingly. Love that. Is this giving up too much? Send Ibuka, Sutton, Etienne for Puka. Is this the same league? It's got to be a different league. It's got to be a different league. You're showing me those those wide receivers. I don't hate it. I'm in the camp that I think Tootin is going to start taking out more of a role, carving out more from that offense. But at the same time, Etienne played so good. Absolutely so good. Went down to the one, I think it was 5 times this past week. Like, very easily could have been a different game for Etienne. And I just don't think he's going to outright lose the job. They're obviously not going to... not obviously. We've got 24 minutes left, but most likely they're not trading him. They're not going to get rid of him. He's going to be involved in the offense. I don't see Tootin just completely taking over. So I think you got a decent running back there. If your team's deep enough to pull this off, do it. Do it. Ibuka has been awesome. His underlying, like, his route metrics and a lot of that stuff's great, but without those touchdowns, he has been a bit iffy. Baker's come down to earth a little bit over those last 2 weeks. He had 1 touchdown over those 2 weeks. Wasn't great. Ooh, here we go. We got the team. What are we looking at? Ooh, liking it already. We got May, JT, Kyron, Etienne, Pollard, Spears, Jamar, Ibuka, Keenan, Sutton. Yeah, let's do this. Let's pull this off. You got your quarterback and your tight end locked down. You've got your stud in JT. You've got Kyron there. Pollard, Spears, they're depth pieces. But having Jamar, Puka, Keenan's a decent wide receiver 3 there. DJ Moore, he is what he is. Tez, not bad. Yeah, I'd pull the trigger. You're paying quite a bit, but yeah, differently. It's like, come on, man, you're holding out on me. Holding out if you're saying Diggs and Jacoby are your best. Yeah, I like it, especially this time of year. I like condensing my rosters, squishing 2, even 3 players for 1, because then you just go hit the waiver wire immediately. There may not be playable pieces or the best pieces out there, but those turn into like most of my leagues right now. You look at my bench, it's 5 running backs, it's 6 running backs. Majority of my benches are running backs at this point. So if I don't need to play the wide receiver and I'm just holding him for depth, I don't need him. Like, if you're not playing him, you probably don't need him at this point. Every league's different. Nino's other team, he definitely needs to hold a lot of wide receivers, but for the most part, if I've got my starters, 3 guys, I am okay with that. Like, I don't want to have... I'm trying to think of name. I'm not going after Jack Besh if I've got my wide receivers at this point. If I don't need that player, that fill-in thing for whether it be bye weeks or injuries, I don't want to just sit there and hold a guy that I'm not going to play. I'd rather hold on to a running back that has a chance to propel himself into the top. Corey, shouldn't you be working? It's the middle of the day. Come on. Just kidding. Might be able to trade Loveland for Wan'Dale Robinson or Josh Downs type of guys. I don't know if I'm really into Wan'Dale. Like, full PPR, maybe. But, like, what is truly the upside? We've seen him have 1, if not maybe 2 career games this year, but, like, his upside has always been capped. So, I don't know if that actually helps your team. Let me see what we got. We were wide receiver 5 finished, wide receiver 10 finished, but outside of that, 37, 81, 80, 56, 20, 50, 32. Like last week, got 9 balls. Dope, right? 46 yards. 46 yards. Game before that, we had 6 for 95, 6 for 84, 5 for 30, 6 for 55. I don't know. I mean, in that one big game, his 8 for 142, that was the Russell Wilson game. That was the game against Dallas. And do they play Dallas again? Oh, yeah, they do in Week 18, so it doesn't even matter. So, yeah, I just don't know if there's any upside with Wan'Dale. Josh Downs, I don't mind. I feel like he's on a lot of waiver wires. I'd like to see his percent owned. Maybe package him with Jacoby and do a little better like Olave. Really excited about Olave? I mean, at this point now with Shaheed gone, yes, but like he was number 2 in target. Like Alvin Kamara was outrushed by Taysom Hill. This offense is crumbling. It's falling apart. They're fast. I do love the pace of play that they do. Kellen Moore wants to keep up tempo. I don't know why. I don't think that's really smart with this team, but I don't know. Jacoby and Loveland for Olave. I don't think I'd take that up on the Olave owner. But then again, I make stupid moves, folks. I do make stupid moves from time to time. Probably a stretch, though. You know what's a stretch, Corey? Never mind. I don't know. Watson's a good get, though, and probably better than whatever you can get for Loveland. So you're just giving me a hard time. That's what I'm hearing. That's all I'm hearing there, back and forth, me, Corey. Yeah, I'd prioritize Watson over that because I'd rather have Watson than Josh Downs. I'd rather have him than Wan'Dale Robinson. But if you can still wind up picking up Loveland and that and then making some sort of trade, I don't hate that either. Because right now your wide receivers are... Who are your running backs again? I don't remember if you had... Yeah, toss me your running backs. Maybe we can find a package with Jacoby. I hate wide receivers on a traded year. The only time I think we've really seen it in the past years was Devontae Adams, and he got traded to his old buddy, similar offense, all that. But like, you remember Deontay Johnson? All those metrics that we saw, he was so good, heavily targeted, got traded 3, 4, 7 times, didn't work out. Amari Cooper finally got out of Cleveland, heading to go play with Josh Allen, and I don't know if we could play him in a single game. So traditionally, wide receivers that get traded at the deadline don't do a whole lot for the team. Running backs are a completely different story. We see guys off the street plugging and still give us points. So these running backs, if we get any of those traded, I like that more. But wide receivers, if you can get somebody on the hype of Jacoby, 100% would let that happen. Just squeeze Ridley out of him as well for that deal. Nice. Sutton, Abuka. That's what we do. That's like that. I like that. And Ridley's hurt, so you can throw him on the IR for a night now. But yeah, what do we get? Sutton, Abuka, and ETN for Puka and Ridley. Okay. Yeah, that... Did Ridley even add anything to the trade? I don't know, but it looks a lot better. It looks good. I like that. Maybe we can get Ridley traded. We've got 18 minutes. 18 minutes. Maybe he can go to the Chiefs, too. Nice deal. Corey coming in and giving you the flowers as well. Love it when we get live trades here, especially before the trade deadline, folks. It's looking great. Let's go through a few more waiver wire pickups, unless y'all have anything else you want to throw in the chat. Running backs, Isaiah Davis. We know in 18 more minutes how valuable he'd be. Devin Singletary, he got 10 carries for 51 yards. I don't think I care. I really don't think that I care. Tracy only had 8 for 37, but if you're not starting Tracy out of that backfield, I don't know if I want to start a running back. That's not Cam Scatterbo for the Giants. So I think I'd leave Singletary, let him go be a landmine, let other teams pick him up. Terrell Jennings, deep enough leagues I can see picking him up this week. But yeah, we're still watching to see what happens with Ramondre. Tank Bigsby, Dylan Sampson, a couple of guys coming off a bye week. Both their starters were injured going into it. So I think they need to be looked at, especially, like I said, if you are a 3-loss or less team, start loading up on running backs. Maybe if you don't have a stud quarterback, you're going to have your second quarterback in there for the week or two ahead. Stay ahead of them. Same thing with defenses. As we get closer, I start picking up my defense for the week prior. I usually do that Sunday night. After I find somebody, running back played, this backup didn't get hurt, I'm going to drop him and go pick the defense up that I want to pick up the waivers. Yeah, only because 3 wide receivers, 2 flex, so I just wanted an extra piece to throw in. Absolutely. Yeah, sometimes, especially we got a few more heavy bye weeks, you might need to plug and play. You don't exactly want to plug in Ridley, but sometimes you might need to. Absolutely. Anything we can do to help, that's what we're doing here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. We're helping everybody out. We're throwing out trade advice. We're helping you with start sits. And, taking a little advice from y'all sometimes. Corey, from time to time, he's had a good call. 1 or 2, Maybe bringing me onto the team. Maybe that was one of the better ones. But who knows? Who knows? That's not what we're talking about now. Of course not. No. Other running backs we can look at. Jarrett Patterson. Vidal is... he's going full Katy Perry. He's hot. He's cold. He's yes. He's no. So he may be, Jarrett Patterson's going in there to spell him a little bit. I don't know outside of a 12-team league if I'm confident in playing him in a 10 or less, but just a name to know. Tootin, again, I think he's going to start taking more out of this backfield, maybe more vital picks, because, ETN is still getting the lion's share, or the Jaguar share of the load. It's bad. 1.5 good calls for me already this season. Look at you go, Corey. Look at you go. Wide receivers, we've talked about Parker Washington. He's especially this week. Diami Brown's going to be out, so even if Jacoby Myers does play and BTJ plays, I think there could be work for both those guys. But Washington's the one I want to own. The Christian Watson, man. ACL's behind us, hamstring injuries behind us. I really like him. Again, I'm not saying this guy's going to come in here and command a 25% target share. He may be just on that fringe 15 to 20% target share, but that's enough to give you wide receiver 3-ish numbers. And the way he plays, he's a big play guy. So if he can consistently get you 50 to 80 yards and has that potential to go down there and get the big touchdown to give you a 100-yard game to break, like, he's big, he's tall, and he's fast. You don't often see his metrics combined, so that's probably why I'm absolutely in love with the guy. But I think Watson might be one of the biggest pickups this week, especially with that Tucker Kraft injury. Troy Franklin, mentioned him a few times. Torrey Horton, kind of get straight. Let me just take him off this list. Cedric Tillman for the Browns, coming back from IR. Again, I don't really want to mess with Jerry Jeudy. We can kind of come to find out that that's just been a lost situation. It's been a draft pick on him. Well, you're just hating that you didn't grab Waddle, who was sitting there right next to him, or Olave, or some of those other guys. Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, I think two guys that need to be in consideration. I know this Colts defense just got better, but it's a harder road ahead of them. This isn't going to be just a bunch of teams like they have been where they can just completely dominate the run. JT, I imagine he's still going to be good, maybe have some up and down games, but they should have to push the ball a little bit more, toss to the rock more. And Alec Pierce, 13 targets last week. He is no longer just an MVS. He's looking like he's growing into that, coming into a contract year, so I imagine we're going to be extending him. Because, I have a say in that with the Colts. No, I don't. Chimere DK, unfortunately, he's really all I want to own. As far as the Titans go, the other two pieces, they're intriguing enough if you need to fill in, but it's hard to trust anything coming out of this Tennessee offense. Musgrave interests you in all deeper. I don't mind him in, like, I guess depending on what you call him, deeper, like 12 or more. I don't mind him there. 10-team leagues, he might be interesting too. Like, they came out of the draft together, Musgrave and Kraft. And Musgrave was drafted 2 rounds, I believe, 2 rounds ahead of Kraft. And for a while, both these guys were heavily, like, injured nonstop. And it was, Musgrave looks great, and then he gets injured. Oh my God, Kraft looks great, and then he got injured. Musgrave, so it's been a back and forth. Kraft has gotten a stranglehold on the starting job. Clearly, he looks great. His yak ability is insane, but I don't think Musgrave's a slouch. And in this offense, Jordan Love struggles to, get a spark on this team sometimes, or at least in the offense through the passing game. So Musgrave alone could be pushing 15 to 20% target share. And from a tight end, I think that's money. Because like I usually say, after the top 7 guys, tight end 8 to tight end 20 are weekly streamers. That group includes Hawkinson. It includes Kelsey for me. It includes, there's just so many players in there that you could you could convince me of it. So let me pull up my rankings, actually, see where I have them this week. Struggling. Where are we at? Yeah, so the K. Dottons, the Dalton Schultz, the Evan Ingrams, Juwan Johnsons, David Njoku, Isaiah Likely, AJ Barner, Harold Fannin, Kyle Pitts is kind of falling more into that. Like, all of these guys, I look at them in the same breath. So I like Musgrave. I don't mind. I'd rather have Musgrave than Loveland. If that's spicy for you. I like him. What else we have as far as waiver wire pickups? Devon Bailey. Deeper leagues, that's somebody you might have to look at. Wild stuff. They traded a 4th and a 7th for a 27-year-old second-year player to Denver. And then they just traded a 4th and a 6th, I believe, to send Shaheed away. Ridiculous trade. I want Shaheed every time. I mean, granted, they're both about the same age, funny enough, but I don't know, you need 2 more years with Bailey, you don't have to pay him. Ridiculous trade. Also, another name to know, Nino, might be for you. Kyle Williams, again, Booty was knocked out of this game. Pop Douglas is relevant. Diggs is relevant as well, but Kyle Williams, 2nd round pick for the Patriots this year. He's starting to get more and more involved. Again, not a full-blown starter yet, not even something I'd really necessarily pick up Just a name to know. Just a name to be aware of. If an injury does come down, maybe Booty gets knocked out for longer than he expects. Kyle Williams could start growing into his role as far as the offense and just being, we see the rookie bump. You've seen the Twitter feeds the last 2 weeks. There's a rookie bump. It happens every year. Going to quarterback. This one hurts. I mean, I don't even know if Jaden Daniels got overshadowed with the whole Tucker Kraft situation, but Jaden Daniels out indefinitely is the last news I've seen. I haven't seen anything definitive if they actually know what's going on with their boy, but it's elbow injury. Evidently, it's not terrible, but I watched that video. It was gross. But Jaden Daniels is also the guy that had that weird elbow thing in that photo. I don't know if y'all remember last August. So maybe he's just got a funky elbow. Maybe that's all there is. But yeah, Marcus Mariota, JJ McCarthy, maybe more super flex leagues. Joe Flacco's on a bye, but if he gets dropped, I think he's worth picking up. And Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold looks like a great play this week as far as a streamer. Yo, great advice, my guy. What do you think about Marion Hampton? Is he someone to trade away or hold on to? Honestly, I trade him away. At this point, the offensive line has been just decimated. They've lost 3 tackles. I think one of their guards is out right now too, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any better for that offense. Like, these are all pro level tackles that they lost. Like, this is the reason I believe QJ was so good at the beginning of the year. And granted, Rashawn Slater hasn't been there all season, but I believe that is why we got so much work out of QJ at the beginning of the season, solely because Herbert had the time to throw it. He could let these routes develop. He could let QJ get open down there. He's not going to have that kind of time. That's why we're seeing him rush so much. 7 games, I believe he's had over 30 yards, 3 games over 60 or 2 games over 60. Something we never thought we'd see from Justin Herbert, just as far as the poised passer. And we got a report yesterday saying Omarion Hampton might not be back until after their Week 12 bye. He's coming back from a big injury, so that means maybe he comes back Week 13. Does he get his work share back? Do they work him back into the offense? Still got 8 minutes. Maybe Breece Hall makes his way out there, but I think at this point, it's all the return. It's all about what you get back in return. So if you're getting peanuts, if you're getting Wan'Dale Robinson for him, yeah, I think I'd hold on to Marion Hampton, see what else can happen, because his price is only going to go up. I think it's at the lowest point we're going to have it this season as we get close to the hype of he's coming back. But also your fantasy trade deadline's either this week or next week, most likely. So I'm trading away Marion Hampton. My co-host Brennan, big advocate for him this year. We both liked him a lot. Heading out to the combine, getting able to stand next to him and watch just the way he worked out there, it was amazing. But kind of a lost season at this point, just where the Chargers are rolling as far as running the ball this year. So yeah, I'd trade him away for the right price. Corey, what do we got? By the time Daniels makes it back, they will be so far out of the playoff picture they should sit him and take a higher draft pick. But will they? No, they won't. They're going to screw us. They're going to go put him back out there. They're going to run him ragged. Like, who are you throwing it to? Like, the season's done for McLaurin. I don't even want to see him come back here, even if he's healthy. Debo's dealing with a heel injury. You've got Luke McCaffrey, who's out now with a collarbone injury. Chris Moore? Really? Do we want to see Jaden Daniels roll back out there? No. Honestly, at this point, I don't want anything to do with the Commanders. I don't want any of their pieces. Debo might be the only one that actually gives you wide receiver 3 flexish appeal. And at this point, I'm trading out. I'm done. I don't want to deal with this team anymore. Corey Krosky-Merritt just infuriates me to the point that, like, why was there so much hype there? Why would they trade away Brian Robinson when they're at the point where if they were still contending, they'd be looking to trade for a running back? The whole situation's ridiculous. It's moronic. Honestly, they're just lucky that Zach Taylor's in the league and I have somebody else a head coach to yell at them, because this was a horrible attempt. They made it in the NFC Championship, but we've seen teams that didn't belong in conference championships before. We've seen Blake Bortles go to a championship game. I love my Colts, but Andrew Luck, the year they beat the Chiefs in that 28-point comeback, they should not have been in the AFC Championship to play the Patriots. They just let Brady walk to the Super Bowl. It was the stupidest thing ever. I was infuriated. I was so torn in that game watching them come back. But last year, that's what it felt. Commanders played well. They overplayed their team though. And I think they had unrealistic expectations for what the team was. They patched a couple. They were missing a leg, and they put Ben Gay on it to repair it. No, go get you got to get something new to replace that. You can't just slap on a little ace bandage and call it good and think you're going to make a run, especially in the same division as the Eagles. Come on, where's the drug test for that team? Because clearly they're smoking something ridiculous. Rant over. What else do we have? I went over again all these tight end names: Musgrave, Theo Johnson, Loveland, Fannin, Taysom Hill, Likely, Dulcich, Arroyo, Ferguson, all tight ends I'm looking at this week going into streamers. If you wanted to know what that streaming article looks like, follow me on Twitter at @toomuch_Brian. All my stuff gets fed up through there. Defenses this week: you got Bills against Dolphins. I don't mind. Panthers, they show up more than they haven't so far. They're playing the Saints. I love that. Love that. Seattle gets the Cardinals. I think Kyler might play. I really like it then. Browns play the Jets. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. I like that one. And the Ravens. Kind of a rough matchup this week against Minnesota. But as I was saying, as you start picking up teams in the future, stuff like that, if you're going into Sunday, you have an extra spot before the Ravens kick off, I'd pick them up because the following week they get Cleveland, they get the Jets, and then they get Cincy. I love that. Ravens defense is looking better, more like the team that I predicted to be a Super Bowl winner this year. Yeah, I know. I said it, folks. I don't feel good about it, but damn, that roster's good. It looks too good. Too good to be upset about. Trade deadline coming to a close. The excitement ended early. Wasn't the best finish to it, but hey, we got hot there for a bit. Again, to recap some of the trades we had, Logan Wilson, I can't remember, I think he was last night. Maybe it was this morning. So much has happened, but Logan Wilson goes to the Cowboys for a 7th round pick. Jacoby Myers going to the Jags for a 4th and a 6th. Sauce Gardner coming to the Colts. 1st round pick this year and next year, as well as A.D. Mitchell. Again, I'm really excited just for his future. He made some boneheaded mistakes, but he was so buried in that depth chart. Like, he really never had a chance to truly blossom. Rashid Shaheed going to Seattle for a 4th and 5th pick from the Saints. Bears traded for Joe Tryon. They got a 7th, 6th swap there with the Cleveland. He was a 1st round pick the year after the Bucs won the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. They picked him in the 1st round, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is the defensive line that just trashed Patrick Mahomes, and then they get a steal at the end of the 1st round? Well, maybe not. Maybe not. He's more of a role player at this point. And then Dallas, making the splash. Making the splash, Jerry. Your 3-5 team going to the Super Bowl. Picked up Quinnen Williams. Traded away a 2nd round pick this year and a 1st next year, as well as their D lineman. Yo, what's up? We got our Brian on. Brian Crime, what's happening here? Hey, Brian, Seattle or... I just named both of them as a defensive streamers for me that I like. I really like the Panthers against the Saints. Seattle, I think, is the better defense, but I think the Panthers have the better matchup just going up against the Saints. It's a divisional battle, so maybe, I guess Seattle and Cardinals are both divisional battles. I'll do you one better. Let's check on what they're playing next week, and maybe that'll open it up. Seattle, who y'all got? They're playing the Cardinals this week, and then the Rams the week after. So I definitely won't want Seattle that week. Panthers, come on, Brian, work faster. They're playing the Saints this week, and then the following week they get Atlanta. Okay, so both of them look like a 1-week play. I think I'd play Seattle as the safe bet, and the Panthers as the ceiling play. I think the Panthers have a better chance of getting a turnover, like a pick 6, a fumble 6, something like that, whereas I think the Seattle Seahawks won't lose it for you. They'll go out there, they'll give you a decent amount of points. They have a chance to go in something big, but I think the Panthers have the... If you're an underdog, I'd probably go with the Panthers. If you're in a close matchup, take Seattle for the safe bet for me. Folks, you got about 30 seconds to throw out any more in the chat that you'll want. Otherwise, I'm about to get out of here. They're flashing the light at me. I've got to shut it down. Folks, can't thank y'all enough. Can't thank y'all enough for coming to hang out with me as we watch the trade deadline fade. Brees Hall, you are a Jet. You're stuck there, buddy, for whatever freaking reason. Jets, y'all have a win. You don't need them anymore. Just move on. Move on. But where we're not moving on from is here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. If you're looking for more of me, it's at too much_Brian. All of my stuff gets fed there, whether it be my Too Much Fantasy Football podcast or here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. I throw out a handful of articles. A handful. It's one. It's one tight end streaming article a week, but that's all I've got. Brian, gotta help you out. Thanks. Just need one that doesn't give me an 0. I feel you. I think Seattle, they have a better bet of not giving you 0, so I like that. But folks, I'm out of here. Come check us out. Come check me out next week. It's every Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. Can't thank y'all for hanging out. It's a great time. I gotta go though. See you later. Thanks for listening.